Hello, you awesome friends. This is Edward. I'm with the legendary Michael Sterling. How are you today, Michael?
I am pretty good. It's a good Tuesday today.
Now, what was funny, we started just talking before, right? We just started talking before. And I realized we should start our live right now. We started missing all this great content. So I was just going to ask you, Michael, can you tell us a little bit about you and what you do, my friend?
Yeah, definitely. My name is Michael Sterling, and I run a B2B marketing agency called MS Marketing. And I work with a lot of companies in the B2B space, just helping them to get in touch with their ideal clients and land more clients and sales, land more gigs. I work with a lot of creative industries. That's like design, branding, video as well, and yeah, just help them to elevate their business and land, talk to more potential clients. Because at the end of the day, the more potential clients you talk to, the more actual clients you're going to have. So you got to talk to people.
Isn't that true? And that's the biggest thing that I've learned in business over the years. And I love how you brought this up, Michael, is that at the end of the day, if we're just doing our own thing or hoping for the phone to ring, it's just not a good way to run a business. The more people we speak to is the more stuff that happens, doesn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And like a lot of the times people tell me like, "Oh yeah, I have referrals, like it's fine." And I tell them like referrals are great. And when I get referrals, it's fantastic. However, if you're just going to rely on referrals to bring in the business for you, you're in the reactive side of things. You
Yeah.
got to be proactive and you got to actually top up your referrals with other stuff. Like you got to talk to other people that just don't come from referrals. It can be networking events like you run. It could be, you reach out to people. It could be people that come from seeing your Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, like whatever it is. You can't rely just on referrals. You gotta go out there and you gotta, talk to some people outside of that.
Yeah, absolutely with you. And the biggest thing that I've learned over the years, right, is that, and I've done this before. I've been guilty of this, Michael. Right? I've been absolutely guilty of this. It can be very easy to just get absolutely complacent where, and I've done this before, you're getting busy, clients are coming to you. And I find the moment you stop picking up the phone, you stop talking to people, that's where your business goes completely backwards. And I tell you what, I've experienced that many times, but I've learned this is the one of the biggest things I've learned. Actually, I know you'd love this logic, right? It's very Michael Sterling logic. I love making a few phone calls every day. Like sometimes it's one, sometimes it's two. If I got a bit of time, I might make 10 phone calls a day. I love just making phone calls and reaching out to clients and people. I imagine you would do that sort of thing, wouldn't you?
Oh, definitely. Like I reach out to people all the time. I don't, to set up, to chat with more people. Again, the more people you talk to, the more clients you're gonna have, and you can't get complacent. If you can take the foot off the gas pedal for a little bit, but you take it off for too long, and it's things are gonna get worse. So you got
Yeah.
to push that accelerator in and go.
The thing that I love doing, and I've been thinking, it's funny you bring up this topic. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, Michael. What I love doing is I love doing making sure I make at least a few phone calls every day. I find if I do all my content, run my business, do my what I need to do, if I just make two or three really good phone calls a day, the business works out. What do you think of that type of logic?
I think that's good. Like again, it's being proactive. So I think it's great. It can be phone calls, it could be messages, like whatever it is. And I know you send messages as well to people and like voice notes. And I think it's fantastic. And like, especially if people hear your voice, because it just reminds them. And it's like, it's much better if they can hear you rather than just, read what you read, what you wrote to them. So I think it's great. It's being proactive. And I'm all about the proactive approach in business. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I gotta love, and I was just gonna say, jumping topics for the moment, right? I tell us where you're from and what your background is, because your legendary accent doesn't match your background. Tell us all about it. I think
Yeah.
it's fascinating because you wouldn't pick it on the surface.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So I am originally from a small country in Europe. It's called Lithuania. That's where I'm from. And I lived in a few countries before. I went to University of Massachusetts as my school. I didn't finish it. I am a proud college dropout. And yeah, but I mean, I studied there. It was a great experience. I studied economics. After that, I was in London. I lived in London for quite a long time and actually worked in the hospitality industry for quite a bit in London, and it was a crazy time. And now, I've been running my company for 3 years, over 3 years now, and it's been going great. I've had a chance to work with so many great people all around the globe. U.S., Canada, Asia, Australia, of course. And it's great. I love meeting new people, different cultures. You know, it's great.
Wow. And I was just telling you before as well, I'm into the Fallout video game series and I'm playing Fallout 4 right now. And Fallout 4 is set in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts hundreds of years after a nuclear war. And the
Yeah.
bad guys, called the Institute, are actually literally under the university there. And basically, the end of the game is you setting off a nuke under the university. So I thought it was quite ironic. But you weren't under that university, you were in a different part of it, weren't you?
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. I went to campus that was like a small town. Literally half the town were the university students from my school. Like the rest, when it was not the term, like in summer, the half the town is gone. Like there's
Wow.
nobody there. So
Wow.
it was a real experience. Yeah.
Wow. So I was going to ask you as well, right? I was going to ask you as well. You're a smart guy. You do a lot of B2B work sort of thing, right? And a lot of people ask me this topic, and I want to bring it up with you. How do you stay connected with people? What are some of your ways of staying personally connected with people? What are some of your tips and tricks and thoughts on that one, Michael?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, I mean, there's a few ways you could do that. What I do personally is I set myself reminders to take some kind of action. So let's say that, you know, I talk with somebody and maybe they want to work with me, but they're not ready right now. Like I actually set a reminder to myself in my emails to like follow up later or something like that, or maybe go and check out their content or something else. So first of all, I think that if you have some kind of timeline or something, just set up reminders for yourself to do some kind of action. The ways to stay in touch with people, obviously you could post content, you can go and check out their content if they have anything, maybe they have some new work coming out. Like I work with a lot of creatives, so they update their work like throughout the year probably. So maybe if I go and check out and see something new, I might comment on that, or I might send them a quick note. Like there's a million ways to do that, from sending the postcards to calling people to sending them an email, LinkedIn content. Like there's so many ways. For me personally, like I kind of just set up reminders to do something. Like I said in the email, so just in Gmail, there's this thing where you can schedule the email. Then I just schedule it, and then it brings me to the same thread that we had like 6 months ago, and they said X, Y, and Z. So that's what I do personally for myself.
I love it. And what do you think of the old-fashioned way of calling someone directly? What do you think of that? In fact, what do you think of the good old-fashioned phone calls? And how many calls do you think you'd make a day on average?
I think it's great. Now, here's the thing about my business is that I work with a lot of people outside of my time zone. So as
Yeah.
much as I would love to call people, I don't really call people I don't want to call people outside of business hours.
Yeah.
And so I personally kind of like set up calls in advance
Yeah.
so that it works for both of us. But if they are a local, like if it is somebody in Australia, I can call them and just, follow up, or call them and chat for a sec or something else. I do that with my Australian clients. They have my number. And my American clients, they have my number as well. It's just that mostly we do the emails. So it depends. Like if you are in the same time zone and you can't call them, I think that's great, because again, you being proactive, you talking to people, like, it just makes a difference, really.
And that's the vibe I get from you. That's the biggest thing I love about. And every time I speak to you, what I love about you is the proactive nature you have. And you know this, a lot of people aren't proactive. We see that all the time. I'm going to ask, if I can ask you a negative question, why don't you think a lot of people aren't that proactive? What do you think the reasoning for that is? What's going on in their heads?
You know what? I don't know. Like sometimes it's somebody's complacent and they're just like, oh, it's okay, or they just know, or some people are not comfortable with a lot of like things like calling somebody, because I know people who are not comfortable talking on the phone just in general,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
I think that's like if you're a business owner, that's bad. that's not good. Like you should get over that. You should, I do you think I was comfortable like first when I started like talking to people? No, like of course not. I
Yeah.
was, so uncomfortable and like having on Zoom and like even when pre-COVID, I'll tell you about this, like pre-COVID, most of my calls over Zoom, like I use Zoom for a lot of my stuff. So
Yeah.
pre-COVID, 95% of my calls were just audio, plain audio, so we don't see each other.
Yeah.
And it was working fine. But post COVID,
Zoom.
95% of my calls are video.
Yeah.
And when this change happened, do you think I was comfortable with it? No, it's like everybody can see me, like,
Yeah.
but I have adjusted and I am now comfortable with it. And I even encourage it because on
Mm.
Zoom, if they can see your face, it's kind of like they I feel like they trust you a little bit
Mm.
more. And I even did a poll on this like a while
Ooh.
back, and I had like 70% of people reply that, they're more likely to trust somebody on Zoom if they are having a video call with them and they haven't met them personally rather than the
Mm.
audio call. So I highly recommend if you do sales, if you talk to potential clients over Zoom, do video because people see you, they see you're a real human being.
Yeah.
It's harder for them also to be negative towards you. So like before, I might talk to somebody and like, once in a while, like 1 out of 20 times, you might get somebody who's going to be like, screw you, blah, 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 that
Yeah.
kind of thing. And now I almost nobody is like that with me
Yeah.
because I feel like it's harder to be negative, like, or
Yeah.
that kind of thing, like to somebody's face.
Yeah,
And
it's like trolls. It's like if you let's say not that it happens much on LinkedIn, but let's say you get trolled on wherever, Facebook or even LinkedIn for that matter. It's like people. It's like that old thing. People can say whatever they want in text, but they never say it to your face. Not going to happen.
oh, absolutely. And it's it's great. I love it. I feel like my close rate have gone up since I switched to video, and now I just
Mm.
automatically do video with
Yeah,
everybody because I feel like people see you're a real human being. I'm also very like I'm not a big fan. Like I know there are some people in the sales industry who are like, yeah, you gotta push, like you gotta close them, blah blah
yeah,
blah. I am a very sort of like laid back person a little bit. I'd
yeah,
rather give somebody an offer and let them decide and then that kind of thing. And obviously, I'm not gonna, I'm not about like letting everybody off the hook too easily, but I'm also not about like pushing people. Because I feel like if you push people too much, they start
yeah.
to pull away because of
Yeah,
that. And
and also
so,
too, as you know, you get buyer's remorse. You don't get the satisfaction
yeah.
and that sort of thing. I think there's something to be said. If you sign up someone too early, that can really blow up in your face too.
Oh, absolutely. And I've had it before when somebody signed up with me and they were really excited and they seemed excited. And that was like years ago. That was like 2.5 years ago
Yeah,
or something like that. And then later on they messaged me back and they said that, they don't want to do it anymore or something. And I was like,
yeah,
what? But and
yeah,
they paid for it. They paid the whole thing. They did everything. And it's just odd. But I feel like, with the way I do it now, I just don't experience that as much anymore. And and again, face to face, I think this is as much to face as
yeah,
you can get being on
yeah,
video with somebody, and
yeah.
they also pay attention more. Like I'm all for that. Like if you ask me, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Now, I just want to say as well, we've got to our viewers watching, a big wave to our viewers watching. If you are watching this live, please like, share, and comment and say hello. I should pick up your comments using StreamYard, which I've been playing with quite a bit. So it's been good. Still getting a handle on StreamYard. And also to my legendary friends, if you are watching the recording, make sure you connect with wonderful Michael. So, Michael, I got to say, I love where you're going. And business-wise, can you tell us a little bit more about how you actually help people? I know you said a bit before. Tell us a bit more. So, what exactly do clients hire you for, and what's it like working with you? Where do you start people off, and what's the process?
Definitely, definitely. So, what I help with specifically is like we narrow down. I basically do like proactive business outreach for them. So, what I do specifically is they tell me like the kind of clients that they want to work with. So, let's say they want to work with, medical companies based in New York City that are like mid-sized, and they want to talk to a marketing director. So, what I do is I go and I find a bunch of people like that. I put together a list. I do some research on the actual companies, find something interesting maybe to talk to them about. Maybe they want an award or something else. And then what I do is I go out and I reach out to those clients directly for agencies that I work with. and then and the goal is to set up the meetings for them. And then once the meeting's set, they just go and they have a discovery call with the person basically, and they find out how they can help them. That's the gist of what I do. I basically, you just tell them what kind of clients you want to go at,
Wow.
we try to set up appointments for you. And then in terms of like how it is to work with us, we have like an introductory offer. It's like a 2-week campaign. If you want to work with us, and why I have that now is because I actually want to make sure that we can help you long term. So in the 2-week campaign, if we feel like for some reason it's not working out, like that's kind of like protection I have as well. But if it does work out and it is getting you results and it does achieve a lot for you and it does help you, then why don't we talk about something long term that we can work on? Like one of my clients, Dave, who's we helped land, like we've been working with him for like a bit less than a year now, and I think he just landed in another tech company. And before that, it was like a tobacco product company, and then before that, it was another one. So like, yeah, but I love working with people long term, and like it just depends on like who's your target market and what do you want to do, and the case studies you have. The problem that a lot of companies might have is that they don't have strong case studies, and we do need that, because otherwise it's just it's hard to push somebody if they don't have good examples of work. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Now, well said, Michael. I'm going to say thank you for your time. I know you're a busy man. And just for our friends around the world as well, you live with your wonderful wife in the beautiful Queensland in Australia. Is that
Yep.
right?
Yep. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Now Queensland for our friends around the world, that's just like summer all year. You have like winter for 3 days and the rest is just summer. Is that a fair way of looking at it?
Absolutely. So it is spring now, and it's aircon time, so conditioning definitely.
Oh, gotcha.
And
You're all inside with aircon, avoiding the heat and all that.
yeah, definitely. Oh my God, my wife just doesn't like the heat at all. So like we're in a rental, so we have like an aircon in every room. Um, and it's great. We used it yesterday. It was 35 degrees Celsius. For
Wow.
any of our American friends, it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
So it was insane yesterday, and it's just spring. It's not even summer yet. So
Yeah. I remember one time on a funny note, years ago, before I met Lassie, obviously pre-pandemic, I was in Dubai for 4 days, just visit a few
oh,
colleagues there. And have you been to Dubai before?
I haven't, but I bet it's hot.
Well, I got really sick because the temperature that day was 42 degrees, right? 42 degrees. So again, a high temperature, but I didn't think much of it, right? So I went for just half an hour walk, just a half an, because I just arrived, just went for a half an hour, had a bottle of water and everything, just went for a half an hour walk.
Yeah.
And within half an hour at 42 degrees in that desert heat, I was back at my hotel, all heat stroked out. And 42 degrees there is not 42 degrees here. Just that desert heat rips the water out of you.
That's insane. Like, and heat stroke is a real thing. Like,
Yeah.
guys, it's real. It's not jokes. Even here, like, I feel like I don't know why, but I feel like in Australia the sun is like really intense. Like if you've
It,
been to Europe and stuff, like I
it
feel like
actually
the
is. It's
sun is
actually a
double
high,
charged.
it actually is a higher UV here. So the actual UV you get in Australia is one of the highest UV ratings in the world.
It's insane. Like I remember when we came here, like we moved to Australia maybe like 3 years ago or something like that, and with my wife, and basically when we came here, it's like you can feel on your skin, like the sun on your skin, if you stand in like especially like spring, summer, like autumn. If you stand in the sun, you can just feel it on your skin. It's
Yeah.
insane, you know.
Yeah, gotcha. And just quickly, we've had someone from LinkedIn. It hasn't told me who it is because StreamYard doesn't always tell me, but we have a LinkedIn news that says fabulous video with so much value, Edward Zero and Michael Sterling. So sorry, I can't tell who you are, but we love your work. It's probably one of your
Yeah.
friends, actually. It's what I find with this platform. If it's one of my friends, I can see who that. If it's one of your friends, I can't see him. So I think one of your friends has picked it up, which is really,
Oh,
really
that's
cool.
awesome. Yeah, I love, people, LinkedIn is great. Guys, if you're out there watching and, really try to connect with people on LinkedIn, it's a great platform. I've been
Right.
on it actively for like the last 3 years, and there's been quite a few changes, but it's still great, a great platform, and it's only going to get better. It's a great place to post your content, find new leads, meet new friends and,
Mm,
colleagues and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's fantastic. And just, be proactive and be personal with people. Go out, reach out to them, say something relevant. Don't just, send them a connection request and say nothing if they don't know you. Just, comment on their work, pay them a compliment. Guys, if you
yeah,
want, compliments open doors. If you want to get in touch with somebody, give them pay them a genuine compliment,
yeah.
like a genuine one. You will not believe how many times, like, we've spoken to somebody just because, we've given them a compliment. Like, it's insane. Like, you should
Yeah.
really do it.
I love it. The biggest thing that I've gotten out of this, and I'm sure a lot of our fans have, because these recordings get watched, the recordings get watched hundreds of times. The thing I found interesting, what I love about talking to you, Michael, and as you know, very few people are like this, and I say this tragically, but in compliment to you. I love how proactive you are. I love how you've got that focus of, hey, I need to reach out to people and speak to people. I share that mindset. I honestly could do it better. And on that issue, what do you say to people who want to get better at outreach, but they're not quite there? What do you say to those people, Michael?
I just, take it one step at a time, day in, day out. Just, it's all about consistency. So, like, maybe start with pick an X amount of people that you want to reach out to per week. It's better to reach out with something personal than send a bunch of copy pasted messages. So
Yeah,
please just, dedicate a little bit of time, even if it's half an hour a week. Everybody can find a half an hour a week. Don't tell me that you can't find half
yeah,
an hour a week or something like that. In a half an hour, you can reach out to maybe like 5, 10 people, start with that, and then build it up from there. Like, who knows, maybe you'll meet some, meaningful connections. Like, and on LinkedIn, guys, you can meet some pretty big fish. Like, there are people on LinkedIn that are, work for big companies, CEOs of giant companies, and, like, it's great. You should really pay attention to this platform if you are in the B2B space, and not even B2B space. Like a good example is, Holly, who's our
yeah,
favorite, fitness trainer. She's a
yeah.
PT and she has all these programs, and she's smashing it on LinkedIn, even though she's not like a normal B2B offer or anything like that. So really pay attention to the platform. There's some high value people on here, and yeah, it's great.
Uh, Michael, I've got to say, I appreciate you and what you're doing, and thanks for being with us. And if you're watching this recording, please connect with Michael. Michael, I want to give you the final word. What's your closing thoughts for all of our fans across the world?
I think it's just, be proactive with your approach with your business and go out there and smash it. You will, if you just are proactive and you go out there and you make things happen, you will not believe, what you can do. So go out there and be proactive.
You heard it, everyone, friends. Thank you very much. Bye from me. Love your work, all.
See ya.